Harry, Jason and Chelsea in a glittering grand final of Strictly tonight, live from the Tower Ballroom at 7 o'clock. Now on BBC One, it's Final Score.
Trying to avoid relegation.
He was one of the heroes of the afternoon.
Applause from the away supporters. Go! The latest score is Wimbledon go through to the Premier.
John Terry's tears, we all remember. It was too crucial week.
Welcome to Final Score. We've got just the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League, but it's absorbing stuff and plenty to tell you about across all the divisions if you've only just joined us. If you have, you may not have noticed that today they're matching my little elves here in the studio. Steve Claridge and Dion Dublin have been providing us with the entertainment for the last couple of hours or so. But let's bring you right up to speed with what's going on in the Premier League. And just as we've come on here, Blackburn Rovers have equalised. Scott Dan got that goal after James Morrison had put West Brom ahead with a fantastic volley, the 1000th Premier League goal of 2011, no less. So that is really on a knife edge, that one. Everton 0, Norwich 1. Grant Holt's 6th goal in 8 games put Norwich on course for their first win at Goodison Park since 1993. They've yet to keep a clean sheet this season, though, with 15 minutes to go. Will that change? Fulham 2, Bolton 0. Bottom of the table, Bolton heading for a 5th straight defeat. Clint Dempsey and Brian Lewis with extravagant chip there. Beautifully worked scoring for Fulham. And it's Newcastle 0, Swansea 0. Incredibly, though, because the home side have struck the woodwork plenty of time through Colaccini and Barr's acrobatic efforts, but somehow it remains goalless. And it's Wolves 1, Stoke 2. Robert Huth's deflected free kick and a Peter Crouch header have given Stoke the lead after they had trailed to a Stephen Hunt penalty. But let's go find out all about that Blackburn equaliser first of all. Damien Johnson is at Ewood Park.
Yes, Scott Dan has just scored a priceless equaliser for Blackburn Rovers from Chris Samber's knockdown. It was a Route 1 delivery from the goalkeeper, Paul Robinson. And, yes, for a moment I thought there might have been a penalty for West Brom, but it's not been given. It's a free kick to Blackburn. Yeah, it was a Route 1 goal, a long ball from Robinson, knocked down from Samber. And there was Scott Dan to score his first goal for Blackburn Rovers. James Morrison's lovely volley had put West Brom ahead at the start of the second half. The Christmas truce between Blackburn fans and Steve Keane, the manager, immediately broke down. There were chants of Keane out and you don't know what you're doing. But Dan has given them a lifeline, 1-1.
So it's Dempsey and Ruiz with the goals for Fulham, and Bolton desperately need something out of this one. Tony Husband, when I spoke to you last time, you felt it could be coming for them at Craven Cottage. Does it look like that now?
Well, if you had only one criticism of Fulham this afternoon, Gabby, it would be that perhaps they haven't completely put this game to bed, because the way they've dominated, they really should have by now. They just put a free kick wide. 2-0 up. They've been much the better side. Bolton really looking poor and heading towards a 13th defeat in 16 Premier League outings. Remember, two teams for whom this was such a big 3 points on offer. Fulham really took a stranglehold on the game just after the half hour. 2 goals in 66 seconds. Brian Ruiz setting up Clint Dempsey for a fine header. That was 1-0. And pretty much straight from the kickoff, Dempsey returning the favour by putting Ruiz in, and he finished by lobbing Jussi Jääskeläinen from inside the penalty area. An extraordinary finish, coolly taken. 2-0 by half-time. 3 changes made during the second half by Owen Coyle as he desperately tries to get Bolton back into it. And in fact, Chris Eagles, one of the substitutes, and also Fabrice Muamba have gone close to doing so, but Fulham looking on course for only their 4th Premier League win of the season. They lead 2-0.
And they've got some difficult fixtures ahead over Christmas as well. Let's go to Molineux. Ivan Gaskell saw Wolves go into the lead and now Stoke 2-1 up. And they haven't won there since 1967. You remember that game well, Ivan?
Oh, yes, I was well into my teens when that happened. It's 44 years exactly, yeah, that's right, since Stoke won here in the top flight. 14 attempts they've made, but today, after a day that started so poorly, it looks like it's going to end rather better than at one stage it looked. They started badly today, Stoke. Wolves really had them on the rack, and they were a goal down inside 20 minutes. Stephen Hunt's penalty coolly finished after Jarvis was fouled by Woodgate. Woodgate that was then substituted by an enraged Tony Pulis, but it started to change from that point, and Stoke in the second half have really put Wolves under some degree of pressure. Huth with a 30-yard drive from a free kick, which was wildly deflected into the goal by Kevin Doyle on the end of the Wolves wall, and I think it was such a big deflection. There are even discussions that it will go down as a Doyle own goal. That came on just inside the hour mark, 1-1, and then Crouch. He's only never scored against 3 of the current 20 Premier League teams before kick-off. One of them was Wolves. Strike that one off the list. He's on 99 league goals now, and that means it's 2-1 Stoke.
Norwich haven't kept a clean sheet so far this season, but it's going well for them today at Goodison Park. Richard Askham.
Going very well, Gabby, although Everton have been starting to build up a head of steam to try and rescue something from this game. In the last 10 minutes or so, Dennis Stracquilursi and Royston Drenthe have come off the bench to add some much-needed pace and thrust against the Norwich side, who've been very solid today, working well on the counter-attack as the ball goes in from Norwich, which is just headed away by the Everton defence. Everton have had moments of fluency though, particularly in the first half. Sahar Osman and Cahill all had shots that were probably going in deflected to safety before the goal that gave Norwich the lead. Typical Grant Holt, strength to hold off his marker, and a drag back and finish from a tight angle that showed a real eye for goal. That's his 7th of the season, and at the moment, Gabby, Everton needs a moment of inspiration, and Norwich are playing very well.
Was that a goal? Do I need to go anywhere? No? OK. I'll tell you about a match at the top of League One, though. It looks intriguing, and you can see the highlights, of course, of all the Football League matches tonight after Match of the Day with Manish. But Sheffield Wednesday now 4-2 up against Huddersfield. Huddersfield were 2-0 up inside about 15 minutes there at Hillsborough. What a game that has been so far. Chris O'Grady with Sheffield Wednesday's 4th goal. It's 2nd against 4th at the top of League One. Let's go back to the Premier League, though, and go to St James's Park. No goals, incredibly, for Steve Sutton to tell us about this afternoon, but plenty of action.
Yes, as you say, Gabby, incredible that there's no goals. The first half dominated by Newcastle and dominated by the Swansea goalposts. Colaccini and Demba Ba hitting a post each in a half that Newcastle really should have put this game to bed. In the second half, Danny Simpson, right from the restart, a lovely back post pass to Ba. He conspired to miss from about a yard out. A looping header from Ba just after the hour, easily saved by Vorm. Shola Amiobi came on the 71st minute. A minute later, he was put through by David Santon, but his shot scuffed, not hard enough to beat Vorm. Then the best spell of pressure that Swansea have enjoyed in the entire game saw Scott Sinclair 6 yards out, but his shot across the face of goal and wide. It's still 0-0.
And you can see there, it's come through on the video that Middlesbrough have gone into the lead 3-2. What a game, Jason Mohammed.
What a game, and it's Faris Haroun who's got the goal for Borough. Biggest game in the Championship, Gabby, has lived up to its billing. 5 goals, 2 controversial penalty decisions, and a few handbags as well. Borough missing top scorer Marvin Emnes, but Bart Ogbachia and Faris Haroun have led the line brilliantly, causing all sorts of problems for Cardiff City's back four. I have to say that when Ben Turner and Aaron Gunnarsson scored City's goals, at that point I thought Malky Mackay's side were on their way to a 5th successive victory here, but fair play to Tony Mowbray. His side have played absolutely brilliantly in the second half. Scott McDonald scoring his 6th of the season on the hour. If you went Christmas shopping this afternoon and decided not to come to the Cardiff City Stadium, you made a big mistake. Cardiff City 2, Middlesbrough 3.
And you can see it's come through that Huddersfield have got another goal, a Jordan Rhodes hat-trick. Let's go to Peter Slater at Hillsborough.
And yet he could still end up on the losing side. What a game we have here in front of a crowd, Gabby, of 28,600. Sheffield Wednesday 4-2 up. Chris O'Grady with a back header from Lyons' free kick deep on the left-hand side of the field. And then Jordan Rhodes at the other end just 4 minutes after that, completing his hat-trick, this time with the right foot shot. He may yet end up on the losing side. I'm not going to predict anything, though. We still have 12 minutes left, and it's 4-3 in Sheffield Wednesday's favour.
And Norwich still haven't kept a clean sheet at Goodison Park. Richard Askham.
No, they haven't, Gabby. Everton have equalised. Royston Drenthe, who'd made quite an impact since coming on as substitute about 10 minutes ago with the goal, striking it left-footed, took a deflection. Actually, it's gone in off Leon Osman. Just seen it on the replay. Drenthe with the shot. It's gone in off the heel, I think, of Leon Osman. Leon Osman just poking it past John Ruddy. I did think that perhaps it was a mistake from the Norwich keeper, but that explains it. A deflection just as he was planting his feet that took it past the Norwich goalkeeper from Leon Osman. He has the goal, and Everton have the equaliser.
It'd be unfair to say that that was a deflection that he knew nothing about. I mean, without his foot, it probably wouldn't have gone in the goal.
Straight to the keeper, yeah,
without
absolutely.
his deliberate action, I mean.
Although it's only a very slight deflection, because of the pace of the ball, a slight deflection takes it just the wrong side of the keeper, whereas if he hadn't,
He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's just put just the right amount of weight on it. As Stevie just pointed out, if he puts too much on it, it's going to go wide. It's a nice little, got a small little angle there, ball size, and he puts it in there perfectly.
Skill.
Very, very good.
It changes the complexion of that game completely, doesn't it, as well, for Everton. And obviously now Norwich still haven't kept a clean sheet. Blackburn Rovers, big 10 minutes or so ahead for them. That equaliser, did it come for you against the run of play? Because the last we heard from that match, West Brom seemed to be in control and the fans were starting to get restless.
Yeah, I mean, it came in a period where they probably weren't at their best. There's no doubt about that. And also a period where the crowd had started to get restless, I hasten to add as well. I think the truce had well and truly gone by the time that goal was needed, not just to settle the crowd, but also, I think, just give them a foothold in the game because it looked like it was getting away from them. It was a good finish. I mean, 2 centre-halves have gone up for a free kick. It's a straight ball in. Samba's headed it on as he seems to be in the middle of everything, and Dan's has got on the end of it.
Yeah, they need to, when they get Samba forward, that's what he does. He causes havoc in defences, and he just nods it down to his captain, and it's fantastic. Or Scott Dan, shall I say? And it's a fantastic finish.
They've got a chance now. They've had a shot away, but it's been saved. It's still.
They're easing their way back in. They're easing their way back in slowly.
They don't want to lose it now.
No,
that's the thing.
They're easing their way back in.
Situation.
Exactly.
It's one of them. They could certainly lose this game.
They've got a taste. They've got a taste
after it.
Exactly.
With about 5 minutes or so to go now at Craven Cottage, you see Bolton getting back into this. I mean, it's a big ask to get 2 goals before the end of play today.
Just can't see it from what we've seen, Gabby. They seem to be all over the place. Their back four's just nowhere to be seen. There's no togetherness. They're all over the shop. And Fulham are just passing around them.
Better second half. I don't know whether that's because they've upped their game or Fulham have come down a level. They've been better, but still not look as if they're going to get back in.
Fabio Capello there today. The news just before kick-off, though, that Bobby Zamora hadn't passed a fitness test. Perhaps that's why he was mainly there today, but hopefully he's enjoyed the football he's seen. Let's go to Alan Biggs, who may well have enjoyed his afternoon at the KC. He's seen 2 goals. The second, Robert Corran's just gone in. You used a lovely expression earlier, Alan. You said that was more like gentle probing from Hull this afternoon. They've probed away again.
Yes, more like gentle probing. I also said Tigers versus Lions, but more of a whimper than a roar. But Hull, the Tigers, have produced the roar with 2 goals, 2-0 they lead, chasing a 4th straight win. Could even climb as high as 3rd this evening, but for the most part, it's been tight and tentative from the Tigers, who needed a lucky break for the first goal. Poor Millwall defending, then a Robert Corran cross deflected into his own net by Jack Smith. Fortunate at the other end after that with a header from Paul Robinson which hit the bar for Millwall. Henderson's follow-up cleared off the line, but now Corran may have made certain with a volley finally struck from the edge of the area into the bottom corner. It's Hull City 2, Millwall 0. Maybe this will persuade finally Nicky Barmby to take the manager's job.
OK, let's go back to Ibrox. You can see there that Kyle Lafferty has put Rangers back into the lead. Ian Turner.
He has, and it's barely deserved. Terry Butcher, the Inverness manager, will be absolutely sick because in the 5 minutes preceding the Lafferty goal, which came totally out of the blue, Inverness had 2 fantastic chances. Willie Mackay was right through, round the keeper, but his shot towards an empty goal came off a post and went wide. And then Lee Wallace cleared off the line when Johnny Hayes was through, but Rangers broke up field. Substitute Kyle Lafferty latched onto a powerful shot into the corner. It really has been a tremendous game. It's Rangers 2, Inverness 1 with 7 minutes left.
West Ham can go joint top with Southampton because they play tomorrow, of course, against Portsmouth. If they can hold on to their lead against Barnsley, Mark Webber, are they going to do that?
Oh, well, I can tell you that they nearly made it 2-0, but it remains 1-0. Denied a penalty chance there, quite controversially in my view as well. A full house at Upton Park, loving this feast of festive football. Barnsley have had a couple of gilt-edged chances, to be fair, but West Ham have been in the ascendancy for most of this game. Papa Bouba Diop getting the only goal so far. Header in a crowded box, but Colin Cole has been like a kid running down for his presents on Christmas Day. Just missing one half-pitch run and shot by millimetres. Those Barnsley chances, well, it could have equalised at the start of the second half. Only Rob Green's dipping palm denying Rob Edwards. Craig Davis missed a sitter before that. But I think it's the Hammers who are likely to nail this one. 1-0 up at the moment.
They'll be joint top, but they'll be second on goal difference, of course, unless they can score about 6 goals in the next few minutes. It's that time of year. You've got 10 names to consider and you've got a vote to cast. So who's going to be your sports personality of the year? I hope this helps you.
It's nice to know what you've achieved is being recognised. I really would feel very humble, actually, that people wanted to vote for me.
Just to be nominated along such, 9 other great sports people as well, it's a great achievement.
It's been a truly wonderful year for me, and this would cap it off.
Just to be nominated is a great feeling. Incredible.
It's probably the highest accolade you can have bestowed on you. I could only dream of such things.
Just to be a nominee is massive, but to win it, I'd be probably lost for words.
It'll be one of the highlights of my career so far.
There's a great list of winners and one that I'd like to try and join.
We don't play sport for accolades, but it'd be incredible.
Don't forget to cast your vote on Thursday. Before that, though, tomorrow afternoon there's a South Coast derby. Championship leader Southampton travel to Portsmouth, and two of their old boys, Alan Shearer and our Steve here, are on the sofa for that one. And on Wednesday there's a match of the day with 7 Premier League fixtures on the night. Man City, Man United, Arsenal and Liverpool are all in action in their last games before Christmas. And we're going to head now to the Amex. We've heard about what Southampton are up to tomorrow, and the other South Coast team in the Championship to them in Portsmouth are, of course, Brighton, and they're against Burnley, and Andy Barwell has seen a very eventful afternoon.
Certainly has been, Gabby. Burnley lead by a goal to nil thanks to Kieran Trippier's beautifully taken goal. Great technique and scoring from just outside the area. But then Brighton were down to 9 men so early on in this match. Roman Venselo was sent off after an incident which was pointed out to the 4th official by the Burnley bench. The second sending off came on 12 minutes. That was retaliation and violent conduct from Ashley Barnes on Chris McCann. Burnley have made the extra man count in the second half. So much of the ball, so much of the play in the possession. But Brighton are coming back into it. They're trying to hit Burnley on the break, and Craig McHale-Smith has gone agonisingly close on a couple of occasions, but it remains Brighton 0, Burnley 1.
Let's go to Elland Road. Harry Grayson's there for us. Leeds trailing. Any signs of a Leeds goal?
Well, it's a really lacklustre Leeds performance so far, Gabby, in this second half, and they've only got 6 minutes left now. Hardly a single chance created. Reading very solid and dangerous on the break. The difference between the sides, Simon Church's goal on 2 minutes, but Reading really squandered at least 3, possibly 4 chances in that first half as well. So it's still 1-0, but Leeds really are playing terribly.
Let's go to Damien Johnson at Ewood Park for goal news.
A dagger to Steve Keane, because West Brom, 2 minutes from the end, have scored what may well be the winner. Peter Odemwingie with a fantastic left-wing shot, low into the corner, past Robinson. West Brom fans away to my right are celebrating. Rovers fans are streaming away from the ground. And Keane is under extreme pressure here. 2-1 West Brom.
I said it was going to be a big week for him as manager of Blackburn Rovers. The fans said before they were going to back off for the next 2 games, realising the importance of these fixtures, playing teams around them in the league. If this stays as it is, how long do you give him? I mean, what will the board do, do you feel?
I don't know. The pressure is going to be so great from the supporters and from everybody concerned at the club. I mean, it's a fantastic goal from Odemwingie. Don't take it away from him. He really is cuts it off the right onto his left foot and then puts it in the top corner. But there's not enough pressure. You know, the fans they're impatient. They're going to be impatient. They say they're going to give him 2 games. We'll do well to get through the week, Gabby. I really believe that.
They almost gave him a half, didn't they?
Exactly.
You said earlier on, you made the great point that actually it's much more expensive to go out of the division than it is to get rid of a manager midway through a season.
You don't want to get rid of your manager because it costs you money, but ultimately if it's that set that against losing your Premiership status, then it is cheaper. As I said before, until the league gets stretched and they go 5, 6, 7 points off of safety, they won't make a change. They'll only make it when that happens, and that scenario could be sooner rather than later if they keep getting results like this.
OK, time's running out for a winner at Goodison Park, but Everton were on the attack again there, Richard Askham.
Yes, Gabby, I've just seen the Everton chairman Bill Kenwright leaving. I wouldn't be surprised, if we do see a winner for Everton. They're really knocking at the door. Royston Drenthe, the Dutchman on loan, since he's come on, Everton have really picked up. Another chance there for Everton. Drenthe blasts over. That's the 3rd shot, Gabby, that he's had that has gone close to bringing a probable winner for Everton. Dennis Stracquilursi, one of the other substitutes, has also gone close. Norwich hanging on, Everton pressing.
Charlton at the top of League One were 1-0 up, but Oldham have equalised. Philippe Murray on 84 minutes there. Let's go to St James's Park, though. It's 0-0, Steve Sutton. Any signs of a late goal?
Well, if it comes, Gabby, it will be obviously of great relief to Newcastle if it's for them. But you've got to give all credit to this Swansea side. It's been a rearguard action for most of the match. But in these latter minutes, they have enjoyed their best spell of attack. In fact, they could have nicked it in the 74th minute. Scott Sinclair firing wide from just 6 yards out. Can't see a goal coming, though. Still 0-0.
Another goal at Tynecastle. Brian McLaughlin.
Yes, now Hearts 4, Dunfermline 0. Rudy Scatchell with the 4th goal just on time. Gabby Elliott and Taul had given Hearts a 2-0 lead at half-time. David Templeton scored his first goal in almost 12 months. A thundering strike from the edge of the 18-yard box to make it 3-0. And then number 4 coming from Rudy Scatchell after goalkeeper Paul Gallagher had parried a Ryan Stevenson Elliott high into there. Scatchell following up with a header to put the ball into the back of the net. It's going to finish here at Tynecastle. Hearts 4, Dunfermline 0.
Well, it's 56 years since Doncaster have beaten Leicester at the Keepmoat. Naz Premji.
Yes, 1955 to be precise. Doncaster Rovers have beaten them today 2-1. Leicester took the lead through David Nugent's neat finish in the first half. Dean Saunders' side levelled through Billy Sharp, his header going through the legs of Kasper Schmeichel, who gave the home side an early Christmas present. Moments later, Sharp again with a super volley from inside the box, 12 yards out. This time Schmeichel, a spectator, could do nothing as he watched the ball fly past him. The Foxes huffed and puffed. Jermaine Beckford went close in the closing stages to find a leveller, but a much needed 3 points for the home side. Dean Saunders' side get the win. It's finished here. Doncaster Rovers 2, Leicester City 1.
Full time at Craven Cottage. Tony Husband has seen Fulham take all the points there. Interesting scenes there. Owen Coyle just clapping the fans. Is that just for their support today?
Well, I think it's going to be, you've got to stay behind us because this is going to be a very, very long second half of the season for Bolton on today's evidence, Gabby. Fulham certainly not missing the injured Bobby Zamora. North and South American influence has helped them to a big win in front of the watching Fabio Capello. Fulham simply outclassing the bottom side here. The only criticism you could level at Martin Jol's men, that they just didn't finish this game off earlier. Such was their superiority. And of course, Bolton inevitably had some chances to get back into the game, but were foiled by David Stockdale in the second half. The 2 goals, though, 66 seconds apart in the first period, courtesy of Clint Dempsey's header and then Brian Ruiz's lob from inside the box. Those flawed Bolton, who will run ragged at times and who look so short of confidence, they may well need a New Year miracle to stay up. 13 defeats from 16. They've beaten 2-0 here.
Thank you. Let's go to Ewood Park. It's all over there and you can hear the boos. Damian Johnson, they're all directed towards one man.
Yes, the chance is Keane out against the Blackburn Rovers manager Steve Keane, because his side have lost 2-1 here to West Bromwich Albion. West Brom took the lead at the start of the second half. A fantastic volley from James Morrison. And immediately the tide turned against Steve Keane. After a Christmas truce, it was chants of "you don't know what you're doing." Keane out from the Blackburn fans. But they gave themselves a lifeline. Scott Dan with his first goal for Blackburn from a knockdown from Chris Samba, the captain. But then a dagger to the heart late on in the game. Odom Wingy, who'd had 2 earlier chances which he'd squandered, cut in from the right-hand side and fired low past Robinson. The West Brom fans away to my right are celebrating, but Keane's future must severely be in doubt now.
Thank you, Damien. Let's go to St James's Park. Steve Sutton.
Header which Vorm saved. Shola Amiobi should have scored with his first touch of the game late on. Then Swansea came right back into it, and Scott Sinclair could very easily have stolen it, but he shot wide from 6 yards out, and it's ended goalless 0-0.
And there never was a winner at Goodison Park. We've just seen Ed Balls looking happy with that result. Richard Askham, is it a fair reflection of the game, 1-1?
I think that probably Everton will feel as though they did enough to win the game, Gabby, although Norwich, they're looking increasingly assured, aren't they, in the Premier League. It was an open match, Everton with the bulk of the chances, but with 10 minutes to go, it was the visitors who had the difference makers. Grant Holt with his 7th of the season, twisting and turning in the 6-yard box at one end, and John Ruddy, a solid last line of defence at the other. Ruddy played just once for Everton, you know, in 5 years here. He showed with a string of saves. He's come a long way since then. Everton, who'd been unlucky not to score themselves in the first 45, needed some inspiration, and it came came in the form of on-loan Royston Drenthe. Off the bench, he injected real pace to Everton's game, and it was his shot that led to the equaliser. Leon Osman with the final touch. Norwich still haven't got that elusive clean sheet, but once again, they've shown they can go toe-to-toe with most sides in the Premier League.
Thanks, Richard. Let's go to Ivan Gaskell at Molineux, and Stoke have rewritten a few lines in the history books today.
Absolutely, a day of firsts, really, of records put straight. Stoke's first top-flight win here at Molineux in 44 years, a fourth consecutive Premier League win for the first time in their history too, and Peter Croucher's first ever goal against Wolves, would you believe? He's now scored against 18 of the current 20 in the top flight. He's got 99 league goals, and very few would have been more precious than this, stooping at the far post with 20 to go, and Stoke tidied it all up and saw it home from there. And yet it had all started so well for Wolves, one up on top as well after 20 minutes. Jarvis winning the penalty, Woodgate taken off a minute after conceding it, but Stephen Hunt was the coolest man in the West Midlands as he tucked it away, and it all looked to be going well. But Stoke, credit them, they dug deep. Second half, a terrific fight back by them. Huth with a goal to equalise from all of 30 yards, but took such a big deflection off Kevin Doyle, he may even yet be credited with the own goal. It doesn't really matter now. Stoke won it 2-1.
Thank you. Let's go to Upton Park. Mark Webber, West Ham have put pressure on Southampton.
They have indeed. West Ham United 1, Barnsley 0. Sam Allardyce sent to the stands in the dying minutes of this match after remonstrating with the referee after a tasty tackle. It's been a passionate affair, but West Ham held their lead very well despite some close calls from Barnsley's Rob Edwards and Craig Davis. Diop headed home the winner, but 17-year-old Daniel Potts, a late choice to start, made some great chances and took some crunching tackles for West Ham. In fact, when Kevin Nolan was named man of the match, boos rung around the ground. The natives believe young Potts should have got the gong. West Ham United 1, Barnsley 0.
Thank you, Mark. Let's go to Ian Turner at Ibrox. Rangers are going to be top at Christmas.
Yes, Christmas came early for the league leaders because this was a game from which Terry Butcher's side deserved at least a point. Inverness came to win, and at 1-1 after Andrew Shinnie had equalised Carlos Bocanegra's opener. Thistle should have scored twice, Willie Mackay and Johnny Hayes failing to finish after great runs. Substitute Kyle Lafferty punished the Highlanders almost immediately with a low, powerful shot, and Rangers go 7 points clear at the top of the SPL. Rangers 2, Inverness 1.
Let's go to Hamish Marshall. It's all over at Ashton Gate. 7.5 hours for Nottingham Forest without a goal, but there's a silver lining in this cloud.
Is there? It's 0-0 is the full time. The silver lining is they played really, really well, but they just couldn't score. Two excellent saves from David James denied them, and their striker Marcus Tudgay. 450 minutes clocked up since that last goal. City's closest effort was Albert Adoma hitting the side netting in stoppage time, but these two remain in the wrong part of the table. 0-0.
The silver lining, they didn't lose, they got a point. But Leeds have lost at Ellen Road. Harry Gratian.
Yeah, what seems to be an annual event, the Leeds Christmas wobble has started. Simon Church's second-minute lob over Andy Lonergan set up the excellent Reading victory. McAnuff should have sealed it in the first half with two wonderful chances. Leeds offered so little, Gabby. McCormick, one chance in half-time, and in the second half, nothing of substance at all. Hardly a celebration tonight for Simon Grayson, either for his birthday or his third year as Leeds manager.
Let's go to Peter Slater. I think he's had the best afternoon of all our reporters at Hillsborough. Another goal has just gone through the biddy. Tell us about it.
God, it certainly beats Christmas shopping at Meadowhall, this does, Gabby. It's finished 4-4, and Jordan Rhodes, who I thought was going to be the unluckiest man on the field, having scored a hat-trick and finished up on the losing side, has equalised. Now, the boos you can hear around the ground are for the referee, Darren Dedman. It said 5 minutes in stoppage time. We played 5.5, maybe nearly 6 when Rhodes equalised. Quickly, the story of the game. Huddersfield 2-0 up within the first 16 minutes, both from Rhodes, both with headers. Rob Jones headed home Ben Marshall's cross, then Reader Johnson equalised 2-2 at half-time. Marshall put Wednesday ahead just past the hour, and Chris O'Grady's back header gave them a 4-2 advantage. Rhodes pulled one back, his hat-trick 12 minutes from time, then that dramatic last-minute equaliser, and we had 28,500 in the ground. It's finished 4-4. I think I'm going to go for a lie-down.
Jordan Rhodes, sorry, cough there, 19 of the season. You know what that's like. He scored a hat-trick, you're saying, against Sheffield Wednesday and lost 4-3.
Exactly the same thing. He's got his fourth. I scored 3 and lost 4-3 playing for Coventry, walking off with the ball under my arm, thinking got no points. Ridiculous.
Let's go to Jason Mohammed at the Cardiff City Stadium. It's not finished just yet.
It's just the whistle just gone. The referee Graham Salisbury has just blown the whistle. Faris Haroun's second goal of the season, Gabby, has given Tony Mowbray's team their 7th away win of the season. Middlesbrough's performance in the second half has been outstanding. Cardiff City led 2-1 at the break. They simply stopped passing the ball. Barry Robson drove Borough on. Scott McDonald got the equaliser and Haroun popped up with a winner. Cardiff City's 9-game unbeaten run is over. Excellent game. Cardiff City 2, Middlesbrough 3.
And don't forget, Final Score is now on the BBC HD channel from 2:30 every Saturday, as well as the Red Button and the BBC Sport website, so no excuses for missing us. But now let's get the full classified results with Mike West.
Beginning with the Barclays Premier League. Blackburn Rovers 1, West Bromwich Albion 2, Everton 1, Norwich City 1. Fulham 2, Bolton Wanderers 0. Newcastle United 0, Swansea City 0. Wigan Athletic against Chelsea is an evening kick-off at 5:30. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Stoke City 2. On to the Empire Championship. Blackpool 0, Watford 0. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Burnley 1. Bristol City 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Cardiff City 2, Middlesbrough 3. Doncaster Rovers 2, Leicester City 1. Hull City 2, Millwall 0. Ipswich Town 1, Derby County 0. Leeds United 0, Reading 1. Peterborough United 1, Coventry City 0. And West Ham United 1, Barnsley 0. The Empire League 1, AFC Bournemouth 0, Sheffield United 2, Bury 1, Brentford 1. Carlisle United 2, Wycombe Wanderers 2. Charlton Athletic 1, Oldham Athletic 1. Chesterfield 1, Walsall 1. Exeter City 0, Scunthorpe United 0. Hartlepool United 0, Colchester United 1. Milton Keynes Dons against Preston North End is an evening kick-off at 5:20. Notts County 1, Leyton Orient 2. Rochdale 0, Yeovil Town 0. Sheffield Wednesday 4, Huddersfield Town 4. Stevenage 2, Tranmere Rovers 1. The Empire League 2, Accrington Stanley 3, Torquay United 1. Burton Albion 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. Crewe Alexandra 1, Crawley Town 1. Gillingham 4, Bristol Rovers 1. Oxford United 2, Northampton Town 0. Plymouth Argyle 1, Hereford United 1. Port Vale 4, Aldershot Town 0. Rotherham United 1, AFC Wimbledon 0. Shrewsbury Town 1, Macclesfield Town 0. And Swindon Town 3, Morecambe 0. The Blue Square Bet Premier, Braintree Town 2, AFC Telford United 1. Darlington 2, Cambridge United 0. Forest Green Rovers 0, Lincoln City 2. Grimsby Town 4, Ebbsfleet United 3. Hayes and Yeading United 1, Barrow 1. Kettering Town 1, Bath City 1. Newport County 0, Fleetwood Town 1. Southport 3, Mansfield Town 1. Stockport County 0, Alfreton Town 0. Tamworth 1, Luton 3. And Wrexham 2, Gateshead 1. On to the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League. Aberdeen 1, Hibernian 0. Hearts 4, Dunfermline 0. Kilmarnock 1, Dundee United 1. Motherwell 1, St Mirren 1. And Rangers 2, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1. The Iron Brew Scottish Division 1, the games between Hamilton Academical and Greenock Morton and Livingston against Ayr United, both postponed. Partick Thistle 0, Wraith Rovers 1. Queen of the South 1, Falkirk 5. And Ross County 1, Dundee 1. The Iron Brew Scottish Division 2, Just one game played today. Airdrie United 2, Brecon City 3. The games between Arbroath and Forfar Athletic, Dumbarton against Stenhouse Muir, East Fife against Albion Rovers, and Stirling Albion against Cowdenbeath, all postponed. The Scottish Division 3, Berwick Rangers 2, Alloa Athletic 2. East Stirlingshire 1, Clyde 1. Elgin City against Annan Athletic and Montrose against Queen's Park, both matches postponed. And Stranraer 2, Peterhead 1. In the Corbett Sports Welsh Premier, Carmarthen Town 0, the New Saints 0 is the latest score after a kick-off at 3:45. Newtown 1, Airbus UK Broughton 3. For Talbot Town 1, Bangor City 2. And the game between Prestatyn Town and Neath, match postponed. Finally, the Carling Premiership, Ballymena United against Glentoran, match postponed. Cliftonville 1, Coleraine 2. Crusaders 2, Dungannon Swifts 0. Linfield 1, Glenavon 0. And Lisbon Distillery 2, Carrick 3.
Let's have a look at the tables then. Manchester City, of course, still top, 2 points ahead of reigning champions United, both in action tomorrow. Newcastle sneak ahead of Liverpool into 6th with that point against Swansea. At the bottom, Bolton still bottom of the pile with 9 points. Blackburn just a point ahead of them after they failed to hold out for a draw against West Brom. Wolves couldn't move above Sunderland after losing to Stoke from a winning position. To the Championship, Southampton have a local skirmish with Portsmouth on the BBC tomorrow. West Ham are now level on points with the leaders. Middlesbrough and Hull knock Cardiff down to 5th. At the bottom, Coventry now 6 points adrift. And they, of course, as a result of that defeat and victory for Doncaster. Let's have a look at League One. At the top, Charlton remain 5 points clear at the top after extending their unbeaten home record with victory. Sheffield Wednesday also won. Their city rivals United are up to 3rd, at least for now. Milton Keynes Dons can overhaul them by winning the late kick-off against Preston. At the bottom, no change in the bottom 7, with every one of them earning a point this afternoon, improving Leyton Orient 1 to move 7 points clear of the relegation zone. Let's move to League 2. Crawley could only draw but extend their lead to 4 points following Southend's defeat last night. Cheltenham drew last night, meaning Shrewsbury are the highest placed side to win this weekend. At the bottom, Dagenham and Plymouth both earned a point, narrowing the gap to 3rd bottom Northampton. And let's have a look at the Blue Square Premier. Wrexham maintained their 3-lead point with the top 3 all enjoying victories. At the bottom, no change with the 5 lowest placed clubs all earning a point. And the SPL, Rangers now 7 points clear at the top after their win over Inverness. Celtic's game in hand is against St Johnstone tomorrow. At the bottom, it's As You Were. Dunfermline still propping up the pile. Both they and Hibs are locked on 14 points. And you can see Match of the Day tonight on BBC One at 10:20 with Gary, Alan and Laura, of course, for the best of the Premier League today. What was the best of the Premier League today?
I thought that Newcastle were very unfortunate. I thought they played really well, lots of chances, hit the bar, hit the post, looking incredibly strong and incredibly confident on the ball. But for Norwich to get a point, I think was very, very good.
You can have your say on the red button. You can have your say on 606, though, where Mark Chapman and Jason Roberts are joined by a live studio audience. You can follow it on 5 Live or the BBC Sport website. Should be fun there. I wonder what Jason Roberts has to say about Blackburn today. That's it from us. We do go on to the red button now if you want some more reaction from managers and players around the Premier League. If not, have a great weekend and we'll see you next time. Have a lovely Christmas as well. Bye.